Anti-corruption is one of the planks, major planks of this administration, and from change matter into the next level. And on the next level agenda, the anti-corruption crusade is gaining traction. Though opposition will say it is one-sided, but the question is, are we covering mileages? Well, my guest will say so. My guest is Chief Okoi Obono-Obla, Chairman Special Presidential Investigation Panel for Recovery of Public Property. It's good to have you on inside.
Thank you, Mr.
And very well, Chief Okoi Obono-Obla is also the immediate past Special Assistant to the President on Public Prosecution. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Where are we with your Special Presidential Investigation Panel? Are you gaining traction or are you losing traction?
Oh, we have made a huge impact because the whole essence of the constitution of this panel was for the panel to complement what EFCC is doing, what ICPC is doing, what other anti-corruption agencies are doing. And we have played that role very well for the past 2 years. Let me give you instances. I received intelligence on 1,500 landed properties in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, belonging to Nigerians. I think it was the first time the government agency like ours will have, the figure or what we have in Dubai. All we have been hearing is rumor and speculation that Nigerians have properties in Dubai. And I'm sitting here to confirm that we now have intelligence, documents and the names and the properties in Dubai, the phone numbers of those who own those properties, the international phone numbers of those who own properties. So it is very easy for us now to trace those properties, recover them, and return them to Nigeria because those properties are process of corruption, of looting of public funds that we saw from 1999 to 2015. So we have made a very huge impact. And the mandate of the panel. The mandate of the panel is to investigate assets of public officers in the 3 branches of government: executive, legislature, and the judiciary.
So it is not selective at all?
It is not. Who have corruptly enriched themselves, who have abused their office, who have contributed to the economic adversity of Nigeria. Also, those who have violated the Code of Conduct provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. For instance, a lot of public servants do not declare their assets properly. When they get funds from the Code of Conduct Bureau to declare their funds, to declare their assets, they are supposed to declare truthfully. You say what you have and what you don't have. But some of them give half information. Some of them suppress information, because they have something to hide. So, and if you listen to the news about 2 weeks ago, I gave it names of almost 10 public officers who, we investigated and discovered that they lied in their asset declaration forms that are with the Code of Conduct Bureau. So because we want to have a partnership with other anti-corruption agencies, we want to have a synergy. We are not rivals. All of us are working for the good of the people of Nigeria. I had to, make available to the Code of Conduct Bureau the investigation I have done concerning these public officers. And I feel the Code of Conduct, is the best institution to quickly, file charges before the Code of Conduct Tribunal to ensure that these officers, are brought to book. So that is what we have been doing. And there are a lot of engagements. As I'm talking to you, we have uncovered massive corruption, taking place in one of the parastatals in the oil and gas industry of the country. The parastatal belongs to the federal government of Nigeria. And we got intelligence from an NGO that is working on anti-corruption, that a particular man has huge sums of money, a director in the agency, and we have uncovered that this director has over 1.2 billion naira in his account. We have discovered that 49 companies operating in the oil and gas sector, marketing. They have been paying monies into this director's account consistently, and also we also discovered that he has foreign, currency, running into millions of dollars, in some of his accounts in a commercial bank in the country, and another landed properties. And we are spreading our dragnet, because we have discovered that that agency, a lot of the public servants there have not been, abusing their office. They have been contributing to the economic adversity of Nigeria.
Okay, as much as I don't want to be sub judice here,
yes.
Are you in court with some of them?
Well, the agency I'm mentioning, this particular case, investigations are still ongoing. Okay. After we conclude our investigation,
I'm talking about other ones you have uncovered.
Yeah, for instance, NFF, you must have heard NFF. NFF, we have charged about 6 of them, including the president of Nigerian Football Federation. We have charged them to court because they couldn't account for money that was given to Nigeria by the FIFA, during the last World Cup. So an NGO reported the matter, and we investigated, and we established prima facie that they have a case to answer. We are not a court of law. Okay. We are just an investigation body. So our work is to investigate, then prefer charges, and take them to court. So I think the matter came up last week on the 1st of July. They were not available, despite the fact that the court had ordered that we should serve them the charges through what we call substitute means. So, and we did, and there was proof that they were properly served, but they were not in court on the last adjourned date. So the court, I think, ordered that they should be arrested. Bench warrant was issued against them. Yeah.
So, some opinion.
To mention just but a few.
Yeah, some opinion has it that, well, it's a good thing you're doing, but somehow it appears you're selective. Is it true? Are you selective in your
that is hogwash. That is badadash. That is a bunkum. I can tell you that some of the people we have touched are officials of this government. If we are investigating a permanent secretary or 2 permanent secretaries. Currently, I have mentioned the agency of the federal government we are investigating. And before now, I can mention that even a PDP senator who was a flag bearer in one of the states in the southeast, APC senator who was the flag bearer of APC, we are after him, and many others. I can mention the former National Interim Secretary of APC, who is a high-ranking government official. Currently, we are investigating him. We even went to his house in Ajabi and seized almost 86 vehicles.
86 vehicles?
86 vehicles, exotic vehicles. And we seized houses from him. We seized a quarry and farms. This is an APC person. So those who are giving that narrative, they are just trying to discredit the war against corruption. Just like sometimes they leave the war, they leave the institution and begin to attack those of us who have been given responsibility to prosecute this war. They go on smear campaign and all that. So it is just part of the smear campaign to distract Nigerians. This war is for everybody. Nobody is above the law. And that is what the president has, what he's trying to establish, that in Nigeria today, nobody is above the law. Okay. Even the former Senate president, he was an APC member, and he was charged to court. So that impression is wrong. I think trying to change the narrative will not help matters. They should work with us, because it doesn't matter whether you are in the opposition or you are in government. Okay,
still talking about selective. Are you under any directive by the powers above to say don't touch this one?
Never. Okay. It is not in this government. And for me, I will never be a party to selective justice. Before I came into government, I was an activist, and so I cannot be a party to any selective justice. Nobody, since I have taken over this office, and they know that Obla is very independent-minded. Obla has a lot of courage, and that nobody dictates to me. I am only loyal to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the president has a policy of non-interference. And unfortunately, Nigerians have not, read his body language, that he doesn't interfere. If he gives you a responsibility, he believes you have the capacity, he believes you have the ability to carry out the mandate of your office. He doesn't need to dictate to you on what to do. So nobody has ever told me, go after this man or don't go after this man. Of course, I will not take it. And I'm happy that the president has kept faith with his non-interference policy.
Okay. Do you also have maybe a proviso where maybe you could say, okay, if Mr. A has been discovered to have this and he comes quietly to declare that, oh, I have this take?
Why not?
Do you
Why not?
That?
So
what will you tell the public now for those who are in this category in case they want to open up?
I believe it is not a question of insisting or arguing that, look, I didn't commit this crime. Most of them, when we arrest them and begin to, investigate them, they want to change the narrative. If you know that you have done a mistake, you can confess, I have done a mistake. It is left for us to give you a soft landing. And that is why doing this work in Nigeria is very, very difficult. Nigerians are.
But do you have cases of people who have come to you to?
Well,
confess?
some of them, and we'll give them room to do that because it is in the law. Plea bargain. Plea bargain gives you the opportunity to, wriggle out of a difficult situation to say, okay, oh, I did this, I'm returning this, and then we'll look at it and say, okay, rather than charging you for maybe stealing or conspiracy, we can charge you for receiving a lesser offense, or charges will be laid against you. But a lot of them don't want to do that. But we can do that, and because it is in line with the law, and we are ready to do that. You return what you have taken away. What doesn't belong to you, just return it. It happened in Korea. Let me give you an example. South Korea had a regime about 40-something years ago that did so much for the country, but that was also pathologically corrupt. So when the new government took over, the government discovered that there was no money. So the government had to appeal to the conscience of those high-ranking officials of the previous government. And the women, their wives, came out and confessed, oh, my husband stole $50 million, and this is where the money is. And before you know, the government realized almost $50 billion that was used to revamp the economy of South Korea. Today, South Korea is one of the emerging economies. It's one of the countries that, have gone ahead of Nigeria, unfortunately. But 60 years ago, Nigeria was ahead of South Korea. So today, if we continue at this pace, it will take us maybe 50 years to reach the level South Korea has reached. So I appeal to Nigerians who have taken money out of this country. Bring this money back. Invest this money in the country. There is no need keeping the money in Dubai. There is no need keeping the money in UK or United States of America. These are rich countries already, and we are a poor country. So we have our children here. We have our grandchildren will be in this country. So we have a duty to help this country make progress. So if you have taken what doesn't belong to you, bring it back. Don't be afraid that we are going to cut off your head. Nobody will cut off your head. We will look at the facts of the matter and decide to give you a soft landing,
Some persons may think what you're doing maybe is a joke, and this is an opportunity.
Yes.
Because as the anti-corruption onslaught is on, people are still putting their hands in the cookie jar.
Yes.
So what advice do you have for these people?
Well, if you are caught, if you are reported, the law will take its course. Not sentiments, not emotions. The law will take its course because sentiments and emotion have no place in law. So I will advise Nigerians who think that business is as usual to have a change of mind, because if you are caught, the law will take its course. And this government has demonstrated enough will that they can take on anybody who breaks the law. No more impunity. We must institutionalize the culture of the rule of law, of due process, of discipline, because that is what will take our country to the promised land.
After recovering some of these properties through your agency, the public is worried that at times they are kept and they rot away. are there no plans maybe when you recover them either to sell them off or what happens? Why keep them and rot away?
Well, that question should go to the policymakers. Maybe the lacuna in the law, there's a lacuna. I think because of that lacuna, a bill was tabled before the National Assembly. They call it Process of Crime Bill. I think it has been passed into law. I'm not so sure, but that law, a provision is made for the establishment of an agency that will take charge of recovery of, or management of recovered assets. Because like my agency, we are not mandated to sell. And I cannot begin to sell or dispose of seized assets.
But when you seize the asset, who do you hand over to?
Well, after all the legal issues have been resolved, then if it is money, we have an account, a recovery account in the Central Bank of Nigeria. They pay money into the account. I received a letter from a bank. We did an investigation of what some banks indulged in illegal charges on federal government accounts. And so we did an investigation between 2010 to 2015. We discovered that some of the banks were making money illegally from federal government accounts, commercial banks. So, and then we confronted them, and we did a reconciliation. We didn't want to arrest them. We didn't use compulsion. We confronted them, and the facts were very glaring that you have taken money that doesn't belong to you. You have to return it.
How much is this?
One of the banks, so far that bank has returned about 45 million naira, and it was between 2010 and 2015. We are going to carry out another audit between 1999 and 2009 to find out how much were the banks making. That was at the time federal government had numerous accounts in commercial banks. But this government came on board, the president issued a directive that all commercial banks should transfer what they are having belonging to federal government and federal government agencies to the Central Bank of Nigeria. So when these accounts were there, they were illegally making money from these accounts. So that is one of the things we are doing. And we are doing a lot to recover assets belonging to Nigeria and giving them back to Nigeria. For instance, we took over a property that is allotted in an area in Abuja, Maitama. All the lands around that area, that neighborhood, were allotted to agencies or parastatals of the Federal Ministry of Justice. But that particular one, a private investor came and took over the land and built a house or a building, and which is inconsistent with the allotment. Because I have previously told you that the allotment there was for federal government parastatals in the Federal Ministry of Justice. So we did our investigation, and the person was unable to establish title who gave him that land. And we now retrieved that land and gave it back to the National Board for Technical Education.
Was he not charged to court? I asked this question because if within the space you have mentioned, you realize that it went beyond to try to confiscate. I'm sure maybe he attempted to fence, right?
We didn't fence. He built. Yes.
So
and
is that not an offense?
It is. We have the investigation has two phases, two aspects.
Okay.
The first thing we have done was to take over the property.
Okay. We
came there with our operatives, took over the property, and handed over to the National Board for Technical Education. We are now trying to establish how many tenants are in that building, how much was collected during that period this man was in possession of that property. As soon as we establish that, then we can lay charges against him for economic sabotage.
Okay.
Yes.
Chief Okoi-Obono-Obla, thank you so much for making time to
thank
be
you.
on this side. And this is not over yet.
Okay.
Maybe as you cover more mileages, we'll bring you to bring us up to speed.
Thank you, Mr. Minodan.
Up next on Inside is the media review segment. Don't go away.